Okay, so for all of you OnePlus, LG, and other owners of devices that have Android 7 Nougat, you've all been looking down on us S7 Edge users. Or maybe, let me rephrase that. UK S7 Edge users and S7 users. Or actually, no, let me rephrase that again. Some UK S7 and S7 Edge users. Honestly, it has been a rocky ride and we still haven't got all the features yet. This is my little review of basically the S7 Edge and S7 with Nougat on. I'm not going to go over the main features and the comparisons I could do to other phones because I have got like several videos, so point in one of the corners they might be there. I don't know, I'm going to try that. I've never done that bit before, so that's pretty cool. And basically there have been some changes to Android 6. Basically, when this phone came out, it actually came Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow. And Marshmallow's been great for us because it's been stable, and I'll get into why that's important in a little while. And it's also had some great features like the multi-window support, pretty much all the multitasking features, the skin over the top. I kind of like this version of TouchWiz. I think it looks really clean. And that has also changed with the Nougat update. This is one of those updates that's quite prevalent. It's got quite a bit of an impact on how you use your phone instead of just being, security fixes, bug fixes, stuff like that. I'm going to start with something that's a little bit odd. I really like the new keyboard. It's a tiny bit better than the other one, but it reminds me of the iOS keyboard, and I love the iOS stock keyboard. So although you can put SwiftKey on those now, I actually prefer the stock keyboard. So the keyboard's a little bit better. The overall aesthetic is very round. If you've noticed, if you've had an S7 Edge or an S7 and you've upgraded with the Nougat update, you'll notice that it's gone from a very square, very kind of strictly modern, black and white standard OS to something that's more rounded, more familiar, and more friendly, more familiar to people who used maybe Xiaomi phones, which are very, the font is kind of slightly skinnier and the text kind of elements are quite close together, so it creates more of a friendly approach, especially when you've got those round edges. On things like the pop-up box, long story short, I use earpods with my phone, so when I plug them in, I don't get a lot of volume, so I kind of max it out, and you get this little pop-up when you go over a certain volume telling you it might damage your hearing. Probably has damaged my hearing, but we don't know. So especially with that's something that I use a lot and something that I see a lot with that kind of dialogue box. I notice it to be more round, the font to be kind of more friendly, and the overall aesthetic to be a lot more like Xiaomi phones, especially when you go into the settings menu, because everything, has got that kind of very simplistic, but at the same time kind of, I don't know, it's more friendly. It's that kind of vibe that I'm getting from it, because it's more rounded and the text is kind of different. Also, the standard apps like the camera app has changed, and there is some functionality I don't really like about that. Number one, where you can switch between the front and the rear camera is now up at the top left instead of being right there at your fingertips, so it's kind of annoying, and it's something that I really liked about the stock camera app. The features like the pro modes, all the settings, that's all still there, it's just a little bit harder to get to, and I don't really like the aesthetic of it being more of a clean thing. I kind of like the old one because you saw everything. The information was given to you, although it didn't look that good in terms of an app. It did give you that functionality, which was really important to me. And the fact that it's all changed to kind of suit form over function is really not that great in my opinion, because Samsung was more about, actually creating something that works instead of something that looks beautiful, although their modern devices do look beautiful. Other apps that I can tell have changed are the messaging app, especially the messaging app, because not only the messaging app when you go into it, because the overall aesthetics change, I believe there's some more settings. You can change like the backgrounds for certain people of the text chats, but also if you go into actually having a text come down, like the drop down, when you're maybe in an app, you're watching a video on Facebook, whatever, and you get that message pop down, where the reply button, the markers red button, and I believe a close button, that's changed as well. The aesthetic looks different. Functionality is very much the same, but the aesthetic's just a little bit different, a little bit strange. I'm still working my way around it because it's one of those things where, yes, it is more rounded and more friendly, but in this respect, with the actual drop down of the messages, it kind of looks a little bit more squared, a little bit kind of more tight like it was before. So I'm not sure if Samsung deliberately did that, or maybe it's just something that they haven't kept up with the continuity in terms of the entire design, but I do find that to be a little bit odd. There are some problems with it. My S7 Edge, as I got this update on, I believe, the 20th of March or 21st of March, so it's been 2 or 3 days. Like all those aesthetic changes, that's pretty cool. I don't like the fact that most of my apps crash. It's not very stable, it's not something that I can rely on, where the Marshmallow version I really could rely on, because I'd had problems with TouchWiz in the past and that put me off buying this phone. but I've had it for like 6 or 7 months now and I just really like it. And that was because it was stable, it had everything I wanted, but maybe with this new update it hasn't got that, and I'm not really a fan. In terms of speed increases, I haven't noticed a significant speed increase, although I've noticed more crashes, like I said, where the apps will just shut down. Also, weird notification box where you'll close apps, as in where you'll open up your multitasking drawer, press the close all button, they'll all close, you'll get to your home screen, and then you'll get a dialogue saying that some app has crashed and it needs to close. Well, actually it has closed, so what's that about? Another thing, really strange, in the settings menu specifically, I have kind of a positive and a negative. The negative being that I cannot find the toggle for turning quick charge on and off. If you guys don't know what quick charge is, it's a quick way the cameraman has just sent me a Snapchat, so that's good. The idea of quick charge is that it sends more amps through your phone, enabling to charge quicker. And I like to turn that off when I'm charging my phone overnight, because I don't like to push the battery, because it does degrade battery life over time. And I've had a significant decrease in battery life with this. Only now it's on permanently and I cannot turn it off because I can't find the setting, which before was just in the battery application. If you go in there, go into the settings, it will give you a toggle at the bottom, and I believe you could change some other things, whereas now it just tells you the health of your battery and what's using up battery life. And then the other thing, which has got more of a positive, and I'm really not sure if it's a positive because I don't know why anyone would ever change this, you can change your screen resolution now. So you can get 720p, 1080p, or QHD, which is 1440p. And the other thing is, when you put your phone in ultra super battery saving mode, it will drop it down to like 720p, which would be okay with like the battery saving modes. That would make sense because it would do it automatically, but I'm not really sure why you'd want to turn that down, considering you've spent £600. You kind of would probably want that QHD screen. Basically, if you wanted this phone in a 1080p form, just go for the OnePlus 3. Like, it's got equally as good screen, but just at a 1080p, decent camera. Maybe camera's not quite up to scratch, but the performance is better, fingerprint is better, pretty much everything's better about it. So why would you want to go down in resolution? I'm not really sure, but that's just something that I picked up on. Some other things, I do like to delve around in the settings quite a lot with my phones, so that's something that I tend to do, and that's why I've noticed these changes. And I just want to say that it's not been the greatest for us because we've waited so long. I remember developer previewing Nougat on the Nexus 6, which is like a 4-year-old phone or something. And I was developer previewing that back in August of 2016 when I got this. So it's been an awfully long time and not much has changed. When I have got the update, it's not really worth it, I don't think, because I've been waiting for it, because Morgan's S7 Edge at his works had it and his OnePlus 3's got it, and I was like, I need some of that Nougat life. And guess what? They didn't give us the Google Assistant, and they won't be giving us the Google Assistant for a long time, if at all. Now, Morgan's phone, the OnePlus 3, should be getting the Google Assistant soon, but we're not kind of even, no one's really announced that we're gonna get it, if we're gonna get it at all, and like, it might be months ahead by the time the S8 has come out, so it makes the S7 Edge kind of irrelevant. And I will talk about that when I do the S8 review, which will probably be like next year or something. But yeah, in terms of like something that I really wanted from this OS, the one thing I was really looking forward to was the Google Assistant, because I haven't had it on my Pixel, and I really did enjoy it. Like on my Pixel, I used it twice, but it was so cool because you could like have a chat with your phone, and I'm not getting it on my S7 Edge. It's something I was looking forward to, so that's kind of annoying. Thanks, Samsung. Overall, would I recommend the update? No, I wouldn't, but you probably will need to because of not only the security fixes, the bug fixes and stuff, but also the fact that in the future you will get more of compatibility with newer applications and new features like casting to other kind of devices. You'll probably be prompted to update when you do that, and so I have to recommend it for that. Otherwise, I really don't think it's a great upgrade. Maybe it's just because I like stock. I mean, I've come from iPhones and Nexuses to the Samsung devices, where my primaries were an iPhone 6s Plus, and then before that Nexus 4, where updates were immediate. As soon as it came out, it went straight to your device, and not only that, but you got like all of the features, not like a half-baked update. So maybe I would have waited another month to get something like the Google Assistant and some of the fixes so that it's not completely bugged. I do update my phone regularly, so it's not as if I'm just leaving the bugs on there and just not letting them update. I do update everything as it happens. I have automatic updates. I even force manual updates if they're not available. I do check them like every other day. I'm very intricate with this kind of thing. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave this here. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been your boy Ryan Thomas. Like it if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. Maybe you have like an S6 Edge or something, or maybe you're using the new version of CyanogenOS that has 7 Nougat on it, or whatever. And with the Google Assistant, just before I go, you can ROM it, you can root it, and then you can install custom ROMs and also the Google Assistant, but I wouldn't recommend this because of Knox. Subscribe if you're new to never miss a video like this one, and I'm going to put up a more funky video next week, but I'll see you in the next video. Peace.